Starting with a little background information. Before my father met my mother, he traded his dog for a cat because he needed a small companion who could live in his apartment after his father died. He named this cat Tiny 2 after Tim 2, who is blind, just like her. A little while later, my parents met, had me and my younger brother, and we were one big family. 3 boys, 3 girls, 2 parents, and a cat. Tiny and I grew up together, and after my parents split, my dad attempted to take her and I was heartbroken because I just lost my best friend. Only for 10 minutes because my dad had dropped her off to me and said, "She didn't want to leave you. Take good care of her. She's yours now, Brittney." So I did as I was told, and while my dad was away for years of my life, I took care of her. She wasn't only my cat, she was my best friend. Just like she helped my dad through the death of my grandfather, she allowed me to cope with the split of my parents. As I grew older, Tiny grew older too, and with every new year, my mom thought that they would be the last year that we had her because she was so old. She only slept and ate. She seemed content though. I knew she was still young at heart because she would still play with me when she was actually awake. However, I remember one day where she seemed weak. She was falling over and I really thought that was the end. However, she recovered within a matter of minutes and was back to her old self, literally. Then a few months later, she was on the couch and my mom was wearing a black shirt. I remember petting Tiny and throwing the cat fur on my mom. Then, Tiny jumped down from the couch and started falling, continuously walking in circles. I was hopeful she'd recover soon just like she had before, but she never did. That night I woke up every hour to help her eat and go to the bathroom. I would hold her up and she was limp. So the next day, which was the day before my 8th grade year, my mom, 2 brothers, and I took her to the vet in the pouring rain. My eyes mimicked the sky as I tried to keep it together. I was hopeful, but the vet said that she was well into her 20s and there was nothing that they could do. My brother and I broke down. Our tears could have created an ocean. Tasting the saltiness of our tears and saying our last goodbyes were difficult. I had just lost my best friend who helped me through the split of my parents, and now we had to split. My mom didn't want me and my brother to watch her being put down because she thought it was traumatizing, and I regret it to this day. This was the first death I ever encountered, and Tiny was there for me while I was having a hard time and I wasn't there for her. The months that followed, I was genuinely empty. I had no one to cry to when I missed my dad. Tiny was a part of him and my mom's relationship, and now it was gone. I swore that I would never love another cat again after Tiny. However, a few months later, I took in 2 kittens who didn't have a home and they taught me how to love again. I feel like that was Tiny from up above saying that it was okay to love and her spirit was in them. She was saving me once again.